Welcome back and hello. Today I have another ink review video for you. This one is called Workshop Wishes by Ferris Press, and their box of course is beautiful. All their packaging and attention to detail is great. And here it says that the base color is going to be a beige. There's no sheen, but there's silver shimmer and high shading. So I'm really excited to test this one because I love shading. And look at this. So you've got this beautiful artwork, and then you open it, and the artwork continues on the inside. So I love the way that they put these details in their packaging. And I noticed that they've been packing their inks a little bit better. They've been adding more packing material around them so that they don't break in transit. I've never had one break, thank God, but you know, some people have, and if you have been having issues with that, give them another try. It looks like they've fixed the problem. So this is an ink, because of the shimmers, it would benefit from a stir rod. So I think what we'll do is go ahead and use that today, just because I don't want to keep shaking it in between the tests. And I buy them in bulk like this. They come in a little bag, and they only cost a few cents each this way. All right. I don't put these in every bottle of ink, but there we go. If I do put one in there, I at least appreciate not having to take it out, because they're cheap enough to just leave in there. So I'm just going to let this stir up, and then we'll do the swatch card. And I know that this makes a little bit of noise. I've discovered the camera does pick up the sound, so I'll be turning it off in between so that you don't have to listen to it. I'm sure that it's annoying to some people. So we'll go ahead and just stick that in there. And this is a really nice shade of brown. I know it says beige, but this looks like a honey brown to me. And maybe it'll look different when it dries. I notice that sometimes when an ink dries, it can change color quite a bit. So let's put lots of, there we go. I'm going to try to get a little extra ink down here at the bottom, just so that we can really see whatever effects it has from the shading. All right. Okay, and then we're going to write the name on there. There we go. And I'm going to set that card under a fan so that it can dry, and then by the end, hopefully it'll be ready to go. I'll be right back. Okay, so that's under the fan, and I've got right here copy paper. This is just cheap, generic copy paper. And the reason I'm using this is because sometimes people don't have access to the nicer papers. Maybe they're using this at work or at school or something, and they just don't have access to their good papers. So they want to know if this ink is going to perform well, so that way they know whether or not they should get it. If they know, if you know ahead of time what paper you're going to be using. So most people do, they already have the paper. So this is Workshop Wishes. And this is copy paper. Okay. And there is a little bit of feathering, just a tiny bit, but this is also copy paper, and that's probably why. However, this definitely is showing a little bit of shading, even though it is just copy paper. So that's good to know. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and as it dries, the shimmer will probably become visible. I'm going to go ahead and stir this up again. This next paper we're testing is called HP32, and HP32 paper is copy paper as well, but it's much nicer quality. It's very, very smooth, and it has a nice coating that allows the different properties of the ink to really show. So if you can't get a hold of Tomo River paper or another nice paper, sometimes this one will work. You might be able to see some or even all of the properties of the inks on this paper. And it doesn't always happen, but most of the time the ink is going to look a lot better on this paper than it does on regular copy paper. There we go. All right, and that's how it looks so far. So we'll give this a little bit of time to dry and we'll come back and check it. It looks like there's already some shading on there, so that's good. All right, and this is the Tomoe River paper. And this paper almost always is going to look better. The ink's almost always going to look better on this paper than on the other papers. All right, I think that's stirred up good enough. All right. So the ink usually performs very well on Tomoe River. And I'm still new to fountain pens and fountain pen inks and all that and the papers and everything. So, you know, this is just my personal experience. And if there are any other colors that you'd like to see, if you leave a comment down below, if I have the ink or if I can get it, then we'll do a review of it. Here we go. All right, got some of the lines on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this so I don't spill it. And I'm going to check on that swatch and see how it's looking. I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back. Okay, so first of all, let's just take a look at these three papers together. And we'll see how the different papers perform. So first of all, on the copy paper, this looks fine. You could probably easily use this on copy paper with no issues. It's got a lovely silvery shimmer, which is a little bit unique. Usually when I see inks that are this color, this kind of brown type color, there's usually a warm colored shimmer, and this is a cool tone shimmer, which is kind of neat. I like how it stands out in that way. And then on the HP32 paper, you can see it's very similar. The only difference is you see more of the shading on the HP32, and there's a little bit richer color there. And it has, of course, the lovely shimmers. Very lovely. And then the Tomoe River paper, this is where I think it starts to really change. So you definitely see more shading. And then, of course, there's the shimmer. And then here, where I made these little splotches, you can just see a little bit more of that, the shading and just the way that the colors break out. It just seems like a little bit richer color even. But they're very close. Between this and the HP32, the quality is about the same as far as like how the ink looks on the paper. So I think any of these would work. It would totally be personal preference, whichever one. You know, if you only have copy paper, it's going to look just fine. But if you really want to see the shading, I would go with one of these two papers, either the HP32 or the Tomoe River. And then on the swatch is really pretty. Look at this. So of course you got that really pretty shimmer. And this beautiful shading goes from like almost like a honey color. I'm trying to get it so the light does not catch the shimmer so you can see this, but basically there's like this honey color here, and then it gets darker and darker and darker down to this almost a dark brown. Very, very pretty. And this beautiful shading in the loops is like a halo effect. And then of course down there the writing has beautiful shading in there as well. So pretty. This is a really nice brown. I'm really glad I picked this one up. I went back and forth about this for a while before I finally chose this one. I'm super glad that I did because this is really, really pretty. This is what I wanted. I love the shading ink, so I'm already going to be biased in favor of this one. But yeah, this is a beautiful ink. So if there's anything else you'd like to see, leave a comment down below. And if you'd like to see more of these, then just click like and subscribe and you'll see more. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.